Happy 420. I'm Kai.
And I'm Queen Reefer, and you're watching
Stone Cold Murder. Just a PSA, if you have any information that can help solve a crime, go to crimestoppers.com to report any information anonymously.
This podcast contains material that might not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to our season 3 opener. But I'm going to introduce our new co-host, which is Queen Reefer, aka Mrs. Ghostface today. And we've got, as always, Matt and DeBoof, who is our Jason today. And your host, Kai, as Pennywise. Thank you guys for tuning in for our first episode with video. I want to send a big shout out to both Matt and Danny. Danny is not here with us today, but he is our second producer on the show. They worked really hard to set up all this camera stuff, and also Queen Reefer for letting us use her streaming studio and her computers and all that good stuff, and also for being our co-host.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I don't know. I'm probably a little muffled, so I'm going to take this off for now.
Ooh, the reveal.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
Of course.
I'm excited.
Me too. And since this is our...
That was my phone.
Alright, bro.
That's fine. I'll leave it there.
Since it is our season opener, we figured we'd do a fun Halloween-themed episode. So we're dressed up. We also have a Halloween case for you guys.
Ooh, spooky.
Yes. But first, what's your favorite scary movie?
Gotta go with the screams, you know? Something about Ghostface. Zaddy.
Yeah.
We love Ghostface.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. You know, can't ever go wrong with a good Ghostface.
You can't. Which Scream is your favorite?
I like them all, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a favorite. I think maybe the new one, just
Okay.
because, like, the recording's good.
Yeah,
You know how
fair.
I'm kind of, like, weird with, like, old movies
Yeah.
and how they look?
Yes.
So
I
maybe
do
the
know
new
you.
one. And I love Jenna. You know,
Jenna
and
Ortega?
and she's in there, so
She's killer.
yeah. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but hopefully you have.
Hopefully you have at this point seen it. I dislike Scream 3, if I'm being honest.
I don't know if I actually saw that one. I think when I was like rewatching all of the Screams before the new one, it was like, you don't have to watch all of them. They don't correlate, and they definitely correlate.
They definitely do.
So I don't know if I've seen 3.
Okay. 3 is probably the worst one out of the whole franchise, if I'm being honest.
I don't even know.
It's not good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just watch it just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's worth the watch, but like as far as like the Scream franchise goes, the third one is the worst. I don't know. I feel like most people would agree with me on that one. Let me know what you guys think. Is Scream 3 the worst of all the Screams, or am I tripping?
You got me tripping, oh, stumbling, oh.
I think my favorite scary movie.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that.
I like. It's a hard pick for me. I like American Psycho. It's not necessarily a scary movie, but it is a thriller. I like the Terrifier movies. I like the Saw franchise.
Mhm.
Really fucking like the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I do have a favorite. I would say House of a Thousand Corpses might be my favorite.
Okay. Respect.
Yeah. All the Rob Zombie horror movies are really great, but like House of a Thousand Corpses, that fucking opening scene from that movie, I don't know if you've seen it. The opening scene is
Next
top
level.
notch. It's top notch. Just Captain Spaulding in general is one of my favorite horror icons. So worth the watch if you guys
Fuck
haven't
yeah.
seen it.
Honestly, though, a good like slasher movie you can never go wrong with, though. You know,
Absolutely. You're
like-
so right.
Scream obviously my favorite, but I can't go wrong whichever one I like
Yeah.
or whichever one I watch.
Yeah. True.
They're all good.
They're all so good.
Except Freddy Krueger. I'm not a big fan of Freddy Krueger.
We're not a Freddy stans here.
Oh no,
He's one of our least favorite.
he's kind of gross.
Not that killers in general are favorites per se, but Freddy Krueger is probably the worst out of all of them,
Jerry.
I'd say.
Yeah.
He sucks. He sucks real hard.
Hey yo, pause. You said he sucks real hard. And I said, hey yo, pause. Like,
I'm old.
yeah, you're old. It's like a Gen Z thing, maybe. I don't know. It's like,
Fuck.
okay, when you say something like questionable, like, it's kind of like that's what she said, but you're like, pause, take a time out. What did you say?
Got it.
You know? Okay, anyways.
I hate that you had to explain that to me.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. But, like, isn't that so crazy? Like, nowadays, like, like kids are saying words and, like, phrases, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not that old,
I'm old. I'm old.
but now I feel old.
I'll
Like,
feel
you know,
old.
You know how bounce used to be a phrase of like, I'm going to bounce out, like I'm going to dip, I'm going to leave?
Yeah.
Now, apparently, the youngins use bounce as you stink. What? I don't
Like
even
you
know.
bounce?
Yeah, you bounce. That would be used as in a sentence. You bounce. Or that bounces. I don't really get it, but, you know, to each their own.
See, this is why I eat kids.
No.
You know, 'cause I'm Pennywise.
The dancing clown. Georgie Pennywise. Ain't no
I'm
way.
sorry. That was uncalled for. No, but I don't understand any of this
Yeah.
stuff that kids are saying nowadays. So
My glasses.
thank you. My glasses.
But yeah, isn't that insane? I was just like, what in the like the stuff we say that like seems so normal to us? Like, how do you not know what rip means? You know?
Yeah.
But then you like hear other kids and you're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
It was so funny because I work with a couple like older people, and I feel like I always have to like explain what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I was like talking to one day, and I said rip, and I was like, she's like, what does that mean? And so I was telling my coworkers about it. I was like, yeah, I was talking to my mom the other day. I said rip, and she was like, what does that mean? And they all looked at me and they go, well, what does it mean? I was like, oh my God, I gotta go home.
You know, like R.I.P.
Yeah. So I had to explain it to them, but I was like, God damn it.
Dang. I'm this coworker that people are explaining things to now.
Yeah, I feel that too. I'm like, okay. Like skibbity toilet and all that shit.
Yeah.
Or mewing. I'm like, what
Yeah.
does this shit mean?
Our nephew was explaining that to me recently, and I just couldn't.
Like mewing or skibbity?
All of it.
Yeah.
He kept going it over and over, and I was just like, dude, I don't understand what you're saying. I appreciate it, but I don't understand. He's just like,
So did he tell you like what it all means?
yeah, he translated.
So what does skibbity mean?
Skivity? He said it's skivity toilet, and it means like gross or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Honestly, you'll have to ask him.
Because like I know there's a skibbity toilet. There's a skibbity toilet like TikTok of like a head coming out of the toilet, and it's terrifying.
That's like the same thing.
But I just
Or
don't
you
know
can
what it
say
means,
real
like how you would use it like in a sentence or. Anyways, it's craziness, man.
Anyways, skivity toilet, and what was the one that you were trying to tell me?
Bounce. That one?
No, the one we started this whole tangent with, that I was like,
I don't even remember anymore, to be honest.
Replay.
Insert clip.
He sucks real hard.
Hey, yo. Pause. Yeah, that one. That I can't talk about anymore because I don't know until we replay it and edit. But,
Dumb.
yeah. Crazy, man.
That is crazy. Well, we're here for a podcast. And before we do so, I'm going to probably take a dab. Okay, now that I'm nice and stoned, are you ready for the episode?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can
Oh,
I get
yeah.
a oh yeah?
Oh, yeah, brother.
Okay, so
Let's get into it.
let's get into her.
Real quick before we get into it, grab your favorite snack, grab your dabs, your preferred drink, your preferred way to smoke, and buckle in because it's
Yeah.
about to be bumpy.
Our story starts out on October 31st, 1989.
Honestly, that is like so shocking
Is it?
that you picked an October 31st for our Halloween episode.
I didn't even plan that.
What a coinkadink.
Whoa. Did you expect it to be Halloween or what?
Yeah. I was just being a dumbass.
I know. All right. So, October 31st, 1989, a silent alarm was triggered at the neighborhood grocery store located on 31st Street Avenue and Q in Galveston, Texas. So, that's never a good sign when the silent alarm gets full for anything. Especially on Halloween. Like, fuck. It's supposed to be a happy day. This little neighborhood store was owned and operated by 30-year-old Sylvia Salinas. Sylvia had owned and operated this store for just about 10 years before the night of October 31st, 1989. Sylvia was kind and friendly. She was the store owner, and she often took time out of her day to talk to each customer as they would come in and really make sure that they were taken care of while they came into her store. So everybody really had very kind, friendly things to say about her and said that she really made their days going into those stores. So, like, usually grocery shopping isn't something that's fun, but
She made it better.
she made it so much better,
Yeah.
which is really cool. This particular afternoon, Sylvia's parents, Dorelis and Maria, had stopped into the store to check in on Sylvia and just say hello before they went out to a nice little lunch that was right around the corner at about 1 p.m. that afternoon. Everything at the store seemed pretty normal, and Sylvia was her normal self. After a quick check-in, they went to a restaurant around the corner for lunch, just down the block. And right as they were sitting down for lunch, the silent alarm was triggered for that grocery store that Sylvia was at still. When the police arrived at the store, just 4 minutes after the alarm was pulled. So 4 minutes, that's
Wow.
not very much time at all.
Yeah.
And that's pretty quick response time on the police end.
Yeah,
honestly.
because sometimes it takes like a long time. You're like, why did it take the police or whoever like that long to get there? So yeah, that's a pretty quick.
It's quick. That's quick as fuck. So 4 minutes after the alarm was triggered, they were there, and when they entered the store, they could see something terrible had happened there. So not good.
Not a pleasant sight.
There was bloody footprints leading out to the store, and when police walked in just a little further into the front, there was a little counter just right inside the front door. It was covered in blood, and there was a butcher knife sitting right next to the cash register. Walking in the store just a little further, police found the body of 30-year-old Sylvia Salinas slumped over behind that counter. And it appeared to police that Sylvia's attacker had caught her off guard. Sylvia was a smart woman and had been running the store for years, so she was aware of the dangers that could possibly happen with this business and that she could possibly be robbed. So she took precautions to protect herself because of that. She kept both a machete and a pistol below the cash register. So the fact that neither of those had been used meant that she was
Yeah.
pretty caught off guard when she was attacked, unfortunately.
Because I'm sure if, like, she even, like, attempted to use it, that they would be moved in some way or whatever, but...
Yeah. And it seems like to police that the weapons were completely untouched by her. And that led them to believe that whoever came to the store that day must not have sent any red flags to Sylvia. So maybe it was someone she knew.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Also, sorry if you keep hearing a crack. My ankle keeps popping.
Pop.
Pop. Do you keep hearing it?
Yeah, it's pretty loud. Is it okay?
Yeah. I'm just a poppy girl. Is it okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I just wanted to apologize in case you heard a little crack.
It's not okay.
Sorry. Well, you know, I was just really trying to, like, channel my inner,
This wig is bothering me.
whatever. I don't know.
Your inner whatever?
My inner whatever.
Inner whatever.
I was trying to give you sound effects for your cosplay, but, you know, fuck me,
Pop,
right?
pop, pop. Yeah, fuck you.
Anyway.
Sorry. Anyways, that's our first smoke break.
You look terrifying.
Do I? Are you scared? Are you guys scared of me?
I'm a dream of you.
I promise I'm not that scary.
And this smoke break is brought to you by... I don't know. All I can ever think about is, like, and I can't say that, so...
And we're back from the smoke break. So, we left off where police thought that maybe, just maybe, Sylvia had known her attacker.
Which... Didn't her family members come in, like, right before that happened?
Mm-hmm.
And let me guess. No cameras. No people there. Nothing.
It was in 1989, so the surveillance system wasn't
Really?
that reliable back then.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Or as detailed as it is
Sorry.
nowadays. Why are you kicking me?
I didn't mean to, Mom. What are we hitting the goodie?
What are we?
What are we hitting the goodie right now?
Regardless if Sylvia knew the attacker or not, she was found covered in blood behind the counter with just a single stab wound to her chest. Her cause of death was the single stab wound directly to her heart. So I feel like whoever committed the murder knew at least where to stab, because I don't know if I could look at someone and know exactly where the heart, like I know the general area, but I don't think I could.
Well, and, like, not to mention, like, it's one stab wound, I assume, and I feel like she had to, like, at least know them.
Yeah.
Because no one's gonna really get that close to just pull out a knife and, like, stab you.
No. God, I hope not.
You know? Like...
Yeah. Oof.
I don't know.
And like fucking knife is literally would hurt so bad.
And, like, not to mention, like, if it was someone, like, that did it over the counter, like, as a stranger, I feel like she would have had time to, like, if they pulled it out, at least try and grab.
Right. You would already kind of have, like, your defense up if it was a stranger, I would feel like. I would. Like, I don't trust nobody. You're not getting that close to me, being a stranger.
I'm gonna listen to the rest of the story before... Or at least some more of it before I start doing some theorizing.
Alright. Yeah, because you're pretty good at that.
But I got some things in the noggin.
Every time I record with her, she be guessing, so hold your horses on your guess.
It's my sixth sense.
We were born with it.
I don't know what a synth is. Sense. It's my
Sixth
sixth sense.
There was no indications that Sylvia made any attempt to fight back. She had no defense wounds. And like I said earlier, none of the weapons that she had had been moved. So it was discovered that she herself did not trigger the silent alarm.
Wait, say that part again.
None of the weapons had been moved, and it was discovered that she herself did not pull the.
How was it? I wonder, like, does it
alarm.
say how it was discovered that she didn't? Because how can they tell that it wasn't her?
I'm pretty sure it was because of the suspect getting into the cash register that would trigger it. It doesn't specifically specify, but it says that they were like, it wasn't open. She didn't open the cash register. I think they've tried to pry it open,
and then it sets off something.
Mm-hmm,
okay,
in
I see.
turn set the alarm off.
I see.
Yeah.
I thought it was like one of those buttons.
Right. Those buttons, as nifty and useful as they are, they get set off so easily.
Oh, I bet.
I've had them at 2 jobs that I've worked at, and the one that I currently work at, they get set off all the time.
Because it's under the desk, right?
Ours are not under the desk. Ours are just located on a wall. But honestly, the way you have to pull them, it's not a button. You have to push up and pull down. So it's like a hard thing to trigger, honestly. It's like a whoosh, whoosh.
So how does it get triggered a lot at your work?
Ghosts.
My demons.
Which brings me to our paranormal podcast. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We're gonna
one day
check there first. But yeah, so it's not an easy, just.
Because I know like some are pretty easy and like right
are.
under the desk, which I feel like those would get tripped all the time because
yeah,
literally I move my knee.
Oh yeah.
So much like while I'm sitting,
Yep.
and like I feel like I would 10 out of 10 push it with my knee like
Yep.
a dumbass.
Yep. Jason, do you remember it going off at the one place that we worked at together? Yep. They would set those off all the time. So it is pretty easy to trip them.
Sorry. What the fuck?
What's wrong?
Brother. Okay.
Yo. Help her.
Whoa! It's so bright in here all of a sudden.
It's because I changed the light because I had a unibrow it looked like.
So, like I said earlier, none of the weapons that she had been moved, and it was discovered that she herself did not trigger the silent alarm. The murderer was the one that actually set off the silent alarm when he pried open the cash register and stole all the cash out. So the suspect ran, and they left the knife at the scene before the police arrived. Investigators cordoned off the area and began to collect evidence immediately, but honestly there wasn't much evidence to be found, unfortunately, which sucks.
Yeah, and we already talked about like the surveillance cameras, like it was way early on and it probably wasn't the best, so
Yeah, it was the 80s, so
yeah.
not much help there, honestly. Sylvia's funeral mass was held on November 3rd, 1989 at Mission Rena del Pais Catholic Church at 10 a.m. So it was just a few days after her murder. And there were 400 people that attended her funeral mass that day. So
wow, she
was very loved in that community. I think it goes to show you like how much work she actually did for her I can't say that word. Community.
Humanity.
I'm having a hard. I feel like I'm having a stroke saying it.
Community.
Yeah, the community.
You're mixing community and humidity into one. Oh boy, here we go.
I'm not trying to. It's literally like I'm trying to say it and it's not. Community.
There you go. English 101.
Yeah. So it goes to show you how much work she put into the community to have that many people in attendance to her funeral.
Yeah.
I really think. All 400 people crowded into the church to honor Sylvia's life that day. Her death impacted and devastated the community. Reverend Albert Coran delivered the Mass in both English and Spanish that day, so everybody that was there in attendance could be part of her
Aw.
celebration of life.
That's
So
sweet.
I thought that was really cool. Sylvia's brother said that they prayed for Sylvia's soul and that his parents prayed for forgiveness to the person who killed Sylvia and prayed for his soul as well, which I
Aw.
thought really goes to show you, like, not only was she a good person, but it seemed like her family and the community that she really served was just, like, wholesome.
Yeah,
They
'cause,
seemed
like, that's so hard, I feel like. I mean, I've never been in that situation, thank God, but like I feel like that would be such a hard thing to like actually be like, I forgive you, like I'm gonna pray for you.
I don't even know how
And
you do that.
you know, like if someone like took like someone that I loved and like one of my family members, like I would be like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm hunting you down, you know, type shit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but it really takes a good group of people to
Yeah.
even consider, honestly. He said, "My family's doing better now. We know Sylvia is with the Lord, and we are able to cope with the, and we are able to cope through the Lord. There's no other way," he said. He continued to describe Sylvia as someone who loved life, who was outgoing, and the most compassionate person he'd ever known. While Sylvia was laid to rest at Lakeview Cemetery, investigators are working to find any clues or leads that can help them figure out why Sylvia was murdered. Obviously, we know there was a robbery
Mhm.
like aspect to her murder, but like why choose that spot in particular? And it seemed so weird because it's in the middle of the day. This
Right.
wasn't at night. This is noon
Mhm.
on Halloween. Like, what a fucking. That doesn't usually happen, like robberies like that. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a weird time of day to choose.
Especially cuz like yeah, it's like time of day obviously and then like that's probably where more traffic, like foot traffic is,
Yeah.
like during the day versus like at night.
Yeah, especially at like lunchtime.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. So investigators were able to find a little bit of evidence at the scene. They were able to lift fingerprints from the crime scene and started to compare them to regular customers and people that surrounded Sylvia's life, and to see if any of those people had any connection to her death.
Where did they find the fingerprints at? Did it say?
It didn't say,
Mm.
but I'm sure it was around the cash register. I wouldn't assume that they would like lift them from like the produce
Yeah.
area if it wasn't close
Yeah.
or something, or maybe even the weapon.
Mhm.
Hopefully there was
Yeah.
fingerprints on the weapon, so you knew a definitive like, yes, this was from the suspect.
Yeah. That's what I was interested in because if they like lifted it from like the conveyor belt area, you know, it's like
Yeah,
that's not very helpful, but
right. A man was seen located right outside of the store on 31st Street and Avenue Q, and police hoped that they could maybe track him down to see if he'd seen anything. Galveston Police Sergeant Leo Singleton said, quote, "We are hoping he'd seen something. He was seen using the payphone outside of the store just 10 minutes before the store robbery."
who was?
The man that police were trying to locate outside the store, he was just outside. He was seen outside using the payphone. So he was just a suspect. And then another man with sandy blonde hair was seen running down the alley near the store at the time of the murder. And investigators hoped that information would come forward regarding this individual. But again, nothing came forward with this lead either. They were just two random people that were seen, but were never able to be tracked down, unfortunately. Sylvia's murder was in the middle of the day, like we said, and friends and family say that it was normally a busy time for the store, adding to the surprise that no one came forward with any information. Which
Yeah.
we said the same thing, like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's weird as fuck. It wasn't nighttime. It wasn't.
I wonder if
After
it
it was
was
closed.
just like so slow because it's Halloween and not a lot of people were there.
Maybe.
But like you would even think like even just one person was in the store
Right?
and saw it.
Nobody saw anything?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It's always wild to me. During this investigation, they interviewed around 20 suspects who they thought may have something to do with the case. Police asked the public for their help with any tips or witnesses to come forward to help with the investigation. But no one came forward, and with no one coming forward and nothing really to go off of, the case went cold for years, unfortunately. With investigators kind of revisiting Sylvia's case every so once in a while over the years, but never really finding anything new to go off of. Which unfortunately happens with a lot of cold cases like these, where there's just not a lot of information. There's not enough to like really dig in deeper, so you know, it goes by the wayside, and it's sad.
Especially like no one's seeing anything.
Right.
Like can't go off of anything.
Like, what do you do? Sylvia's case seemed to become next to impossible to solve, but in 2008, when Hurricane Ike hit, and most of the
2000 what?
2008.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a long time after.
Yeah. So 2008, Hurricane Ike hit, and most of the evidence in Sylvia's case was completely washed away, along with any other cold cases that were in that police department.
Man.
Which fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, those are things that you don't think about, like, with disasters like that. Of course, we're thinking about all of the people suffering and being without food, being trapped, being without their homes maybe for a long time. But, like, think about that shit where it's like there's cold cases and all of the evidence gets washed away. Like,
I mean, not luckily, but good thing for that situation it's not like a whole bunch of evidence that could have maybe like 100% solved the case.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like there was other ones that maybe had the opportunity to be solved that just got washed away, which is not fun.
It's so sad.
Yeah. But now, like, I assume in today's world, they probably keep a track of it, like, in a cloud or not just paper files.
Yeah. But like with fingerprints and stuff like that, you'd have to have like the physical, or like a murder weapon, or you know, shit like that. Maybe pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sad. So that was in 2008 when the hurricane hit, and 10 years later in 2018, the case received renewed attention when reports hit the news that a critical piece of evidence had in fact survived.
Oh.
So it was a videotape made by police of the crime scene. And this was like as they were walking through the crime scene to like clean up, find any evidence, all that kind of stuff. And it shows the crime scene in detail. The former grocery store was located on 31st Street and Avenue Q. And in the video, a crowd can be seen outside the white building with police tape blocking the front door. Kind of like a typical crime scene. The camera moves inside and there are the bloody footprints seen on the store floor. And video is very silent, which sounds very creepy to me.
Yeah.
Behind the cash register, you can see Sylvia and a bloody knife sitting next to the cash register, which adds an even creepier point to the whole thing. And even though the Galveston Police Department got lucky finding this evidence, it still hasn't gotten them any closer to Sylvia's killer because it's just video evidence, you know? But still, I think it's nice to have that. The police department urges anyone who has any information about this case to report it to your local Crime Stoppers. Sylvia's friends described her as outgoing, compassionate, someone who loved life, and the people that surrounded her in it. Sylvia was given the nickname Syl, Auntie Syl, or Tia Syl. Her friend Cynthia Marsh and roommate of 4 years said that she was like an aunt to her, and she was her Tia Syl, which sad. Cynthia said, quote, Sylvia meant something different to everybody, but we all had one thing in common. We loved her.
Aww. You're so sad.
I know. If you ever ventured into her corner store called Sylvia's Food, not Sylvia's, Salinas Food, which was her last name, you entered a personal, warm world that operated out of a grocery store, and any time invested in conversation with Sylvia left you with a comfortable familiarity that made you come back and feel just so genuine leaving. No matter how busy she was, Sylvia always made an effort to personalize your encounter with her. She knew her neighborhood, her clientele, not only as customers, but as best friends.
It always makes, like, those cases, like, so much harder, too.
Yeah.
It's, like, genuine good, like, people.
Yeah. I feel like the quote, only the good die young, really, not always in every case, but, like, it's always the people that light up the room. It's always the people that held the family together or was, like, this great, genuine person. It's never the piece of shit asshole from down the street, you know what I mean? Like, the world has a cruel way of working sometimes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it is nice that so many people held her in such high regard and can kind of like immortalize her for that, you know, in a way. She did seem like just a very good, genuine human, though. On Tuesday, someone took advantage of Sylvia's nature and used the familiarity to get close enough to murder her. The one act of senseless violence ended Sylvia's life and ripped out a part of countless hearts. I know finding Sylvia's killer won't bring her back to us, but it would settle the uncertainty. Her friends, her family, and we all have so many questions about the ending of our dear friend's life. If you know something or saw something or think of something that could help bring justice to Sylvia, please help us. So that was her friend. End quote. So, with that, there is not anything else regarding Sylvia's case, and it's been cold ever since basically 1989 when it happened. And it is quite wild that nobody ever has come forward with anything. Like, not one person. So, what are your thoughts on this case?
These are always so hard because there's, like, not a lot of theories that you can, like, make up.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, nothing.
Right.
You know, when there's, like, a couple suspects or, like, a couple people involved in the story, then you can start maybe, like, piecing together some stuff. But this case and another case that we're going to talk about later on in this season, they're just, like, you just, like, can't even make up any kind of theories because there's, like, no evidence to even begin to.
Nothing. It really makes for a bummer, honestly.
Did it ever, like, talk about them, like, talking to the family members that did come to see her right before it happened?
They did talk to the parents, but they were seen at a restaurant, like, right before the alarm had gotten triggered. So
it was impossible for them to.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Dang.
I know.
That would be, like, so hard for them to be like, I just saw her at work.
It's
and
tragic.
then get the, like, news, like, a few minutes later.
Could you imagine?
Ugh.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't even know how you deal with something like that. And her parents owned another grocery store down, like a couple corners down. Or not like a grocery store, but a corner store, you know. So, they didn't keep it for very long after.
Yeah.
Which is sad to think that it just all kind of went out the window, you know. I know.
Sad.
Well, if you guys have any thoughts or anybody has any information surrounding the case, always contact your local Crime Stoppers. They can connect you to the right place if they're not the right place.
And I just want to add to that too. If anyone throughout the season has any like theories themselves and would like to share it, you can always put that in the comment section. We would love to read those afterwards.
Yes, and we will read them. You have any more theories that you would like to add?
No, I literally we talked about this earlier. Like I always have theories.
Yeah.
I don't have none.
I didn't have one for this one either. I just thought maybe it was the only thing I could think of is maybe someone obviously that she knew and obviously knew that they could get close to her, knew that she wasn't going to be, you know, she was going to be her normal friendly self and knew that they were going to be able to get money.
Yeah.
But who that is, I have no idea.
I don't think we ever talked about it. Were they ever able to get anything out of the cash register?
They took all of the cash.
Oh.
Yeah, everything that was in there. Yeah. But,
damn.
Yeah. All right, well. Unfortunately, I don't have any theories either, so. Well, that was our Halloween episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you to Miss Ghostface, Pennywise, and Jason Derulo. We will be back next week with a regular episode, not Halloween themed. So, get ready. Get your bowls packed. Get your snacks ready. We're coming at you with another terrible case, another cold case. We'll see you then.
Hey guys, let us know what you think down below in the comments, but as always, be respectful and kind as these are serious cases that have yet to be solved. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can know when we drop our next episode. The next episode will be a case of mistaken identity, so stay tuned.